This episode is brought to you by Real Girl Talk partners and sponsors.
You are listening to Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. I am your host, Sherry. Each one of these episodes will provide you an opportunity to recognize, develop, and achieve all God has for you, bringing you incredible guests, faith-filled messages that will motivate you to reboot, regroup, and reinvent yourself in faith, business, and lifestyle abundance. Now let's level up, ladies, and let's dive in. Welcome, everybody, to another empowering episode of Real Girl Talk Podcast Radio. This is episode 202, entitled Her Career Compass. I am your host, Sherry, and today we're going to dive into the dynamic world of navigating career challenges as a woman. From breaking through the glass ceiling to mastering negotiation skills, we're going to explore unique obstacles that women face in the workplace and offer strategies for achieving professional success. So it is no secret that women have encountered distinct challenges over their careers, challenges that can often feel overwhelming. But with the right mindset and tools, women have the power to overcome these obstacles. We have the power to advocate for ourselves and thrive in our chosen fields. Now, I have been in healthcare for over 25 years. The last 16 years, I have been in medical sales. Part of that medical sales has been in management, leadership, and field sales training. So, guys, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to sales. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to corporate America and how to incorporate ourselves into our chosen fields as a leader. So let's start by addressing one of the most persuasive challenges women face in the workplace right now, and that is the glass ceiling. So this little invisible barrier of the glass ceiling, it prevents many women from really advancing to the top of leadership positions despite their qualifications and abilities. That's no secret. But breaking through that glass ceiling is not impossible. It does require you to have resilience, determination, and strategic action. So how can women effectively advocate for themselves in the workplace, especially when it comes to negotiating for a salary increase or maybe even a promotion? Well, it's crucial for women to recognize their own value. We have to know what our worth is and advocate confidently for what we deserve. This includes mastering our negotiation skills and doing that through research on the market rates, knowing what other people are making in your same field, and articulating your accomplishments and your contributions with clarity and conviction. So remember, when you're negotiating, you have to go forth with confidence because people only value you to the extent that you value yourself. So navigating career challenges as a woman isn't just about breaking through barriers. It's also about achieving a healthy work-life balance. So balancing the demands of work and your personal life can be a juggling act for a lot of us women because often leading to feelings of stress and burnout and guilt hinders us in the workplace. And a lot of times we feel that way. We get stressed out. We have other things that we're dealing with, our kids, our home, our personal life, and we do get burnout. And then we feel guilty for putting ourselves in this situation, right? But if you're prioritizing self-care and setting boundaries, this is essential for maintaining your well-being and also achieving that long-term success that you want. So how can women navigate the complexities of your work-life balance while still pursuing your career goals and your ambition? Well, let's talk about this. Let's explore some practical ways. Number one, you've got to set boundaries, ladies. You have to establish clear boundaries between work and personal life, and you have to be able to communicate those effectively with your colleagues and your supervisors. Remember that it's okay to say no to additional tasks or commitments that interfere with your well-being. You don't have to do that just because you're on salary. Establishing clear boundaries between your work and your personal life, it is essential for maintaining a balance and preserving your well-being and also preventing burnout. But setting boundaries isn't always easy. I know that. It requires self-awareness, assertiveness, and above all, effective communication. So how can women effectively set these boundaries in the workplace and communicate them with your colleagues and supervisors? I'm going to tell you, first and foremost, it's important to recognize that setting boundaries is not selfish and it is definitely not unprofessional. It's an essential aspect to your self-care and maintaining an overall well-being. Establishing these clear guidelines for when and how you're available to work, you create a space for other priorities in your life and prevent work from encroaching basically on your personal time. Because there's personal time, there's work time. That's what we call a work-life balance. So one strategy for setting these boundaries is to establish designated work hours. Know what those hours are and communicate those clearly to your colleagues and your supervisors, whether it's defining your ability in a terms of a specific time block, or maybe you're setting expectations around after hours communication. Clearly outline when you are off the clock. Okay. PTO, paid time off, is off the clock. So this can help you create a sense of structure and predictability when it comes to your workday, not just for you, but for your colleagues and your supervisors. When is she working and when is she not? So don't hesitate to say no to additional tasks or commitments that can actually exceed your capacity or interfere with your personal life. I know it can be tempting to take on more and more and more because you know that you can handle it and you know you're effective and you want to please everybody else, but it is not worth interfering on your personal time. Okay. Pleasing others or proving your worth is not that important as it is for you knowing your worth and staying in your personal time. But saying no when it's necessary is very powerful, and it's a powerful act of self-advocacy and self-preservation. If you're communicating your boundaries with your colleagues and your supervisors, be assertive and respectful. So articulate your limits and explain the rationale behind your boundaries. Offer alternative solutions if you need to, or compromises when it is appropriate. That's okay. By expressing your needs and preferences in a personal, constructive manner, you're empowering others to respect your boundaries and collaborate more effectively with you. Setting boundaries in a workplace isn't about shutting others out or avoiding any of your responsibilities. And that's not what we're talking about. It's about creating a healthy balance that allows you to perform at your very best while honoring your well-being and your personal priorities at the same time. Remember, we're preventing you from being burnout and feeling guilty as well. Number two, prioritizing your self-care. So making self-care is a non-negotiable priority. Scheduling regular breaks or engaging in activities that bring you joy and maybe relaxation, or seeking support from your friends, family, or a mental health professional if you need it, that's important. Now, let's dive right now into that crucial aspect of prioritizing our self-care in the workplace. Making self-care a non-negotiable priority is essential for maintaining your mental, emotional, and physical well-being with all the demands that you have in your work. So prioritize self-care isn't always easy. I know that. It requires you being intentional. It requires you to be self-aware and committed to nurturing yourself. So how can women prioritize self-care in the workplace and ensure that your well-being remains top priority? It's important to recognize that self-care is not just a luxury indulgence. It's not just about going getting a facial and a massage and all these things that we like to do. It's about a fundamental necessity for maintaining your health and your happiness. So just carving out time for self-care activities, women can actually recharge their battery. And that will have us reduce stress. It will cultivate this resilience that I talk about in the face of all of your workplace challenges. One strategy for prioritizing your self-care is to schedule regular breaks throughout the day. It may be just a short walk outside if you work in a building, or if you have a few minutes just to have a deep breathing exercise. If you're a nurse in a hospital, look, you have to take breaks. You have to get away from that hustle and bustle, or you will lose it. I know this. I've done this for years. Simply just stepping away from your desk, whether you work from home or you work in a building with a bunch of coworkers, stepping away from your desk and just stretch, rest your eyes, read something different, maybe a devotional, maybe have prayer time in the middle of the day. But just incorporating brief moments of relaxation and rejuvenation can really help prevent burnout. It can also help you improve your focus, which improves your productivity. So engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment outside the workplace, whether it's pursuing maybe a hobby or spending time with just your loved ones, friends, family, or practicing some mindfulness, go to yoga, prayer, whatever it is. Prioritizing your activities that nourish your soul and rejuvenate you in spirit can maintain balance and can also have a perspective in the midst of all your demands with work. So don't hesitate also to support yourself with seeking a health professional if you need that. If you need to see a therapist, seek a therapist. I want you to build strong support, and being willing to ask for help, no matter who it's from, when you're struggling with any kind of stress, anxiety, or any other challenges, can also provide valuable perspective and encouragement from these outside sources, right? These sources are going to help you manage your well-being. So don't forget, it's okay to ask for help. I know we as women try to be Wonder Woman and we can do everything, but don't forget that if you need help outside of what you're doing, seek it. It may be in a therapist, it may be with a family or a friend or a trusted coworker, whatever it is, use them as a resource to help manage your well-being. You also have the wisdom found in the Bible that offers timeless guidance for nurturing your well-being in all of your life's demands. One biblical principle that resonates deeply in the context of self-care is found in Matthew 11:28 through 30, where Jesus says, "Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." This passage reminds us of the importance of seeking rest and renewing in the life's busyness, right? Just as Jesus invites us to come to him for rest and refreshment, you too can find this solace and rejuvenation just by prioritizing your self-care and seeking moments of quietude. Quiet time is shortened for quietude and reflection in that hustle and bustle of your workplace. Another biblical principle that aligns with the concept of self-care is found in Galatians 6:9, which states, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This verse I love because it encourages us to persevere in our efforts to do good and to serve others. But it's also remindful for us the importance of maintaining our own well-being in the process. So by embracing all these biblical principles, we can find strength and inspiration and prioritize our self-care in the workplace, just as Jesus offers us rest to the weary and promises a bountiful harvest to those who persevere. We can also find renewal and fulfillment by nurturing our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. So number 3, practice time management. So developing an effective time management skill to maximize our productivity and efficiency in our workday is time management. Set realistic goals and prioritize your task. You have to plan ahead. And also, if you're putting things off, don't put things off. Don't be that person. Be somebody that plans ahead and sets to that schedule. These prioritizing your task and also utilize the tools and techniques that can help you stay organized and focused, whether that's a day planner, a gratitude journal, a self-reflection journal, whatever it is, to-do list journals. Keep yourself on task so you stay within that time management that you ultimately have set for yourself. One biblical principle that aligns with the concept of time management is found in Ephesians 5:15 through 16, where it says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days can be evil. This verse emphasizes the importance of being intentional and discerning in how we use our time, making the most of every single opportunity to fulfill our responsibilities and pursue our goals. Another biblical principle that resonates with the practice of time management is found in Galatians 3:23 verse through 24. And it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." This passage reminds us that our work is ultimately a form of service to God, and we are called to approach it with diligence, excellence, and a sense of purpose. So with time management, we can cultivate a mindset of stewardship and diligence and purposefulness in how we allocate our time and our energy, right? So wherever we're putting our time, we're also putting our energy, whether it's setting like a realistic goal or prioritizing our task or just utilizing tools and techniques to stay organized and focused. Integrating these principles into our daily routine can help us maximize, again, our productivity and our effectiveness in work. So remember, you have to approach these tasks with wisdom. You have to approach them with intention and with a heart to serve God. We can honor our responsibilities and make the most of every opportunity that comes our way. Remember, things that come across our path a lot of times are God sent. God knows our direction, right? We set our plan, but He takes us on the path. People come in our lives a lot of times because we are supposed to serve them in some form or fashion. So remember, if you're at work, you can serve, you're serving God. You're a stewardship no matter what your work is, because you're working with people, right? And when people are around you, you're supposed to be a good stewardship for God. Number 4, I want you to reevaluate your priorities. Regular reassessment in your priorities and goals can also assure alignment with your values and also your aspirations. So be willing to make adjustments if you need to, and your course correction as needed to maintain a balance and fulfillment in both your personal and your professional life. A biblical principle that aligns with the practice of reevaluating priorities is found in Proverbs 16:9, where it says, "In your hearts, humans plan the course, but the Lord establishes their steps." This Bible verse reminds us of the importance of surrendering our plans and priorities to God, trusting that He is guiding us and directing us according to His perfect will. So as we reevaluate our priorities, and a lot of us need to do that on a daily, we must be willing to submit our plans to God and adjust as He leads us in new directions. Because if we're on a wrong path, He will reevaluate for you, right? Redirect you. So when I say reevaluate, this is in your still time. This is when you're praying, God, help me, redirect me, guide me, help me reevaluate my priorities. And if you will be still and listen, He will redirect you. But we can cultivate this mindset and alignment and surrender and trust God's guidance when we do this. So whether it's making course corrections or maintaining a balance and fulfillment in both our professional and our personal life, we're also realigning our aspirations with God's purpose for us. We're integrating these principles into our decision-making processes every day that can bring us clarity, can bring us peace, and above all, our purpose in our life. Remember, staying aligned in our perfect purpose is knowing our what and knowing our why. What are you doing and why are you doing it? This is where you find your purpose. By prioritizing our self-care and setting boundaries and aligning with our actions and our values, us as women, we can navigate all of the complexities of our work-life balance with confidence and resilience. Remember, achieving personal success doesn't have to come at the expense of our own well-being. It's about finding harmony between our career ambitions, where we want to go, and our personal fulfillment, that inner joy and that inner happiness and that inner strength that we have. So thank you so much for tuning in to Real Girl Talk Podcast on this episode entitled Her Career Compass. I want you to stay on the right compass, the right direction in your career and in your personal life. You do not have to jeopardize your personal well-being to stay on the right career path. You have to stay confident. You can talk professionally, but assertive in getting what you want in the workplace. And remember, setting boundaries and time management, setting those boundaries between a good work-life balance is so important. May you continue to navigate your career journey with courage, with grace, and with determination in all things. Check out the helpful links in the episode description. Make sure you leave a rating and review and share this episode with a friend. Please share this on your social media with your friends and your family. Take a screenshot, tag me at Real Girl Talk Podcast. And until next time, stay empowered, stay resilient, and keep reaching for the stars.